Hey everybody, happy Tuesday. Feliz martes. Feliz tercera. All right, today was squat day. Did my squats and I'm done. Man, I do like Tuesdays for that reason. Again, it's a tag along day to Monday. Just a way to get some extra lower body volume in without creating too much stress in one session. I'm not lifting heavy. Just getting in as best I can, good quality reps. Things feel heavy even though I'm not lifting heavy. It's funny today I was thinking, like the old, your 1 rep max is my warm up. My 1 rep max definitely used to be my warm up sets. But it's okay. Out in the real world today, I'm a guy who is concerned about my health. So my blood panels have come back clean. I think I mentioned that in the past. Got really good marks for health. But, let's be honest, I still could, I could still lose some weight. And I continue to work on that. But it gets hard as you get, as you reduce the amount of fat in your body, it gets harder to reduce fat. It's asymptotic. Plus, the heavier you lift and the stronger you get, the more your body wants to eat. So I'm combating that. So, I went and I talked to a doctor today about the GLP-1 medications, and the doctor said, you're not really a good candidate. You're too healthy. You're probably too lean. Your BMI is high, but that's about the only real negative you've got going for you that would possibly qualify you. So she was like, you're better off just waiting or reevaluating, or, a stronger case needs to be made. And I'm like, okay. I mean, it's kind of a negative result with a positive connotation. So pretty happy about that, honestly, and I did just want to kind of discuss it with a medical professional who's administered these drugs with risk of losing their license, as opposed to somebody on YouTube or whatever social media saying, yeah, man, I use this and it's awesome. All right. One other thing to mention today. So again, squats, safety bar squats to the box as always. 5 sets of 5, worked up to 225 today. Happy about that. Again, not heavy, but getting close to body weight. Hopefully soon I'll be at body weight sets across, and that's a pretty good marker. Like to get to 1.5, but we'll see if we get there. Was watching some videos on YouTube, not about GLP-1 meds or other nonsense. It was an old, like a YouTube short, which I do have to say that sometimes those are nice, that they're short doses of information when they're good information. And it was a Tom Platz video. Tom Platz walking around yelling at people how to squat, and he had this cue of, your nose goes straight down. But he wasn't talking about like your nose being straight up and down. He's just saying, think about wherever your head position is, your nose, if you were to hold it and you're just to jump into a pool and your nose goes straight down. And it's like, oh, that's a pretty handy cue, because let's be honest, right? We're visual creatures, and a lot of our proprioception comes from what we can see. So we can see, pretty much all of us can see the end of our nose, and we can kind of imagine controlling that through space. And I think once you get set up under the bar right, and you're stable, right, center of mass, center of gravity, whatever you want to call it, is all pretty much locked in, then you just drop that nose straight down as best you can. And that's going to do a lot of the stuff that a lot of these other cues that are out there talking about bar over midfoot and whatever else. It's going to fix a lot of that, I think, for a lot of people. You're not worried about knee tracking, all those kinds of things. You're just worried about getting your nose to go straight up and down. Now, that's not to say it's going to fix other things. Like if you do have some, maybe some knee valgus or something that's a little bit beyond what you should be seeing, sure. But I think if you set your feet up right, and you can control your descent so it's as straight up and down as possible, which again, that nose cue is very clever, because you can see that thing and you can see it in the space in which it exists. So that makes the cue very useful, in my opinion. That's why a lot of people do benefit from looking at themselves in the mirror while they're squatting, because they can tell if they've got, some sort of asymmetry or whatever. A lot of people frown on that. A lot of people poo-poo on it. But again, a lot of people don't have great proprioception, so having something that you can see spatially is very important. All right, so that being said, squats day, got my squats done, feeling good about that, and we'll be back tomorrow, hopefully for bench press. Hopefully that goes smoothly. I'm having a great week so far. Energy levels are good, feeling good, and man, I hope all of you folks out there are having a great time too. All right, so again, happy Tuesday. Feliz martes, feliz terça-feira. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, send to your grandmother, whatever. And don't forget, get into those gyms, hit those goals, and get swole. Peace.